What's up, you guys? Thank you for clicking on this video. So as you can tell by the title, I will be going through some 2026 wave breakdown leaks yet again because we actually have some updates for some characters that were added to the wave that leakers were not sure on which wave they were in yet. This was back in like July, and I actually did videos on this doing wave breakdown updates like a few weeks ago on the channel, and now we have some more updates that I think happened like 2 weeks ago actually. So it's the news, the leaks, rumors, they just keep on coming. But I love it. It's hard to keep up with at times, but I love talking about it. I love doing videos for you guys. And plus, it's one of my jobs now, which I am very grateful for. Because of you guys, you made it possible for me to have another source of income. So I thank you for this. But so let's get into Age of the Primes Wave 1, which was already revealed. It's Deluxe Quintus Prime, Deluxe Sure Shot, Deluxe Blastoff, Deluxe Quick Strike, Deluxe Jalopy, Voyager Amalgamous Prime, Voyager Brawl, Voyager Animated Wreck-Gar, Leader Class Big Convoy, and Leader Class Universe Razor Claw. That was already all revealed during San Diego Comic-Con a few months ago. And now let's get into Age of the Primes Wave 2. We have Deluxe Class Smokescreen, which I think is going to be either a reissue of the Earthrise figure or a retool of the Earthrise figure, or maybe a completely brand new mold to go more in line with what we've been getting with the G1 characters since the 86 subline. Because the Earthrise one, it's a bit outdated if you want to put it with your 86 characters. So I would not be surprised if it goes either of those three ways. Now, the next deluxe we have Power Glide, which is definitely a new mold. I'm excited to see how they utilize this character in the modern era. I'm more than likely still going to stick with my Universe 2008 Voyager. I just think the modernization of his size and character design is still fantastic, and I don't really need the G1 accurate design, but gonna have to wait and see. Then we have Deluxe Class Swerve, which is probably going to be a new mold. I don't know, it could be a retool of Brawn, but I don't see that happening. He's probably going to be new. And then we have Deluxe Animated Ratchet, which I'm kind of excited for, kind of not, considering it's just going to be a G1ified figure, and especially since we saw how they handled animated Wreck-Gar, I'm not really getting my hopes up. People are speculating this thing could be a retool of the Earthrise Trailbreaker / Hoist mold, which I could see Hasbro doing at this point, considering how they made Wreck-Gar a terrible repaint of that one Junkion from Legacy. I can't even remember its name right now. But yeah, the whole G1ified stuff, I'm not digging the last couple years. And the prospects of this guy being a new mold seem kind of slim right now. So I'm not too excited for this, but I love to be wrong, and I hope it's a knock out of the park for the animated stuff next year. And then we have Deluxe Class Prime Cliffjumper, which is definitely just going to be a reissue of the 4-pack Cliffjumper that we got in 2024. Which is good. A lot of people are just getting that 4-pack just for Cliffjumper himself. So it's good for people who missed out on that 4-pack. But it also kind of sucks for the people who, shelled out the extra 90 or $100 last year to get that 4-pack just to get the Cliffjumper, and then they had to go through the whole rigmarole of, listing the others for sale because nobody wanted those other figures to try and recoup some of the funds on spending, your extra hard-earned money on kind of an expensive 4-pack just to get one character, So it's kind of, I guess you could say, disingenuous to people who bought that 4-pack last year. But either way, overall, I think it's a good idea to reissue the character that everybody wanted the most from that 4-pack. That was, mind you, a store exclusive. So I don't really mind it either way, but it does kind of suck for people who already bought the 4-pack last year. Now, for Voyager class, we have Armada Sideways, which is a figure, one of the figures that I'm excited for the most next year between Age of the Primes and Studio Series. This guy is one of my favorite Unicron Trilogy characters, one of my favorite Unicron Trilogy designs, and I am just looking forward to this at Voyager class. So hopefully, because of the budget, they get the his mini cons and headmasters right. They get his features right. His design and engineering is done correctly, and it's not skimped out on like some of the other Unicron Trilogy stuff we've been seeing the last couple years. My fingers are crossed, but I'm a little bit skeptical, but very excited because I can't help myself. It's freaking Armada sideways, you know. And then we have Voyager class Nexus Prime, which we know that is still going to combine in some way due to the San Diego Comic-Con interview with Hasbro. So I'm curious to see what this is going to be. Is it going to be compatible with the Combaticons or what? That's what I'm thinking. Maybe they want to reference the Energon / fans pub fan pub version. I almost said fans hobby from 2004, 2005 or whatever. That would be kind of cool, but we're gonna have to wait and see on that. And then the leader class for Wave 2 is Liege Maximo, which I'm so excited for. He is one of my favorite G2 designs and characters from that era of Transformers. Seeing the comic book design brought to life in figure form in the modern era is something that I'm excited for. Him in Armada Sideways, I am so pumped to see next year. And now, getting into some Wave 3 stuff here, we have Deluxe JOYRIDE, which I'm kind of excited to see. You know, he's one of those characters that has a cool design that I kind of am excited to see get redone in the modern era, but it's not really one of those characters that I care about because he really has no impact on the fiction. But we're going to have to wait and see on how his figure turns out, because it could be another Point Blank situation. You never know. And then speaking of Point Blank, we have a deluxe class Point Blank here, which is probably just going to be that redeco that I think was canceled in Generation Selects a couple years ago. I wouldn't be surprised if it's that, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's just a straight up reissue of his figure from 2 years ago. We're going to have to wait and see. And then we have Deluxe Class Tailgate, which is definitely going to be a new mold. And I'm curious to see on how they're going to handle Tailgate. He's not one of my favorite mini-bot designs, but he's definitely somebody that, you know, really needs an upgrade in the modern era. Because the last time we got a Tailgate figure was, what, like 12 years ago during Thrilling 30? So definitely due for an upgrade. And then we have Deluxe Class FANGRY, which is definitely just a repack from the Target exclusive 4-pack from a few years ago, which is a good thing, but again, it's kind of disingenuous for the people who spent the extra money on the 4-pack a few years ago. But we're gonna have to wait and see. Hopefully comes with an extra weapon this time around. It's not just the straight up figure for freaking $30 now. That would be absolutely outrageous. And now, getting into Voyager class, we have Swindle, which hopefully they knock out of the park. You know, I could definitely see his design being something that is really well done at Voyager class with that extra budget. I'm glad he's not a deluxe this time around. They should get his arm cannon right, his vehicle mode, the combination mode. Everything, I think, is hopefully going to be a great release here for Swindle. He's another one of those characters I'm really excited to see next year. And then we have Voyager class Vector Prime, which is rumored to be more of an extensive retool or a completely brand new mold from the Legacy figure we got in 2024. Fingers crossed that rumor is true, but it definitely could be wrong. You know, there's stranger things have happened. It could definitely just be a reissue of that crappy Legacy figure. And now getting into leader class, we have Armada Megatron, which is definitely just a straight up reissue of the 2023 figure. Kind of a figure that doesn't really need a reissue right now, but, you know, for people who missed out on it, I guess it's a good thing. And then we have Leader Class Unicron Soldier, which people are trying to guess what this is. I don't think there's any leaks or rumors on what this figure is going to be yet, so I'm speculating it's either going to be the Prime zombies from that show, or it could be a retool of the Fallen into Cybertron 2005 Unicron, who was a tank and a deluxe class figure in that toy line, which would be a fire design. Like, that's my pick for hopefully the Unicron Soldier could be. That would be so cool to see in the leader class scale nowadays instead of being a small deluxe, you know? And now getting into the commander class, we have Onslaught, which was kind of sort of revealed with that artwork. We haven't seen the figure yet. I'm curious to see how he looks, but I'm not really. I'm getting kind of sick of the combiner G1 stuff at commander class. Hopefully for 2027, we kind of move on from that and we get different characters. But, you know, we do have a second commander class to remedy this. For 2026, we have Commander Armada Jetfire, which was just kind of confirmed by DNA Design. They're reissuing the Armada Optimus kit, and you know, they said that there would be another character to go along with it in 2026. So they're definitely talking about Armada Jetfire. Really excited to see what they do with the commander class budget on him, getting his minicon. Hopefully that would be nice, considering his transformation is fairly simple. You know, get all those ratchet joints in there for the combination mode. Hopefully everything works out good with Jetfire. But yeah, guys, that about does it for the mainline Age of the Prime stuff. I'm going to get into some exclusives in another video, and then I'm going to cover the Studio Series wave breakdowns in another video as well, because there's just a lot to talk about that I don't want to get into in just one singular video, you know? But yeah, guys, let me know down below what are y'all excited for the most for Age of the Prime's mainline stuff next year. And yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. Catch y'all in the next one. Bye!